Hello there, welcome to Nerd.World. Before I get started on today's video, I know it's been a few days since I made one. I've been quite ill, to the point where I had to get tested for the thing that shall not be named, fear of video being taken down by YouTube. Negative, but still, had to be tested. I've been off work and everything, I've been on my back for 3 days. I thought, even though I'm not at 100%, I'll make another attempt to do a video today. With that said, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, comment down below. It all helps the channel, as this channel is still very much in its infancy. It's pretty much all done for fun at the moment, and I hope people are enjoying it. This video, I'm sure you know from the title and clicking it, is about the Intrepid type Starfleet vessel of the 22nd century. Now, you'd be surprised at how little alpha canon there is on this ship. I was when I decided I was going to do this video, because I think I mentioned before, 22nd century Starship design, I actually really like them. I really like the ships in that era. I remember when Enterprise started and everyone was like, it looks really primitive, but I think that was the idea, really. You can see where they were going with some of the things, which I'll explain in other videos, a bit like how the kind of rough look, the Klingon vessels with a little Weeblies on them and stuff was designed to look like brutalistic architecture of the Soviet Union. It was meant to all be a juxtaposition of Federation humanity, Western culture to Eastern culture, which was a prelude to what was a dominant theme in the 23rd century. But I do like the designs overall, and I really like the ship, and we see quite a bit of it, but there's shockingly little information. You don't see much on the screens around the place, and there's not much online. If you actually look on Memory Alpha, there's very little, so most information is Memory Beta. It's Beta canon. But I'll try and give just mostly the Alpha canon information on the ship. With that said, that was a lot of saying, I'm quite ill. Let's get started on this video. Okay, so first of all, this ship is known as the Intrepid type. It obviously gets its name from the first vessel that we see on screen, which is the Intrepid. It is, however, named in a book as the Intrepid class in, I think it's Beneath the Raptor's Wing, which, again, with the novels of Star Trek, it's whether you want to call it canon, and the ship could have had another classification. We just never saw. We're just assuming it's Intrepid because the vessel we see in a couple of episodes is called the Intrepid. But I've always considered it the Intrepid class as well. There's no reason that it can't be, just because there's a 24th century Intrepid class starship such as the USS Voyager, USS Bellerophon. Now, in addition to this, the vessel was obviously a precursor of the NX class starship. Now, according to Alpha Canon sources, the vessel was a Warp 2 ship, however, it did receive further upgrades to increase its warp capability. That's pretty much it according to Alpha Canon. In Beta Canon sources, the vessel would eventually, after refits, reach a maximum warp capability of warp 5.6 with a sustainable cruise velocity of warp 4, which is pretty good for this ship. It would also receive other upgrades such as a tractor beam. Now, although we do clearly know that this vessel is definitely armed with phase cannons, as we see it using them in an episode of Enterprise, more than one episode actually, but certainly in the main continuity without any upgrades or advantages from the Andorians or Vulcans, the ship is armed with phase cannons as standard. Whether it carries torpedoes is unknown, but in Beta Canon it is equipped with 8 phasers and 2 torpedo launchers. It is classified as a light cruiser and is supposedly meant to be part of Starfleet's defense force. Of course, Starfleet being Starfleet, the vessel does have a dual purpose, which would also be exploratory. The vessel otherwise is 165 meters long by 130 meters wide, 34 meters high, and has 7 decks. It also carries shuttlecraft, although it's not specified how many. Now, that's a Beta Canon reference, but I don't see anything wrong with those numbers. I mean, it looks about that on screen, and I'm not going to get to CGI models, compare them. It seems reasonable. That seems like a reasonable size for this ship to me. Now, other than that, there isn't, as I said, much in the way of Alpha Canon on this starship. I just personally really love the design. It fits in with the design aesthetic, and you can see the leapfrogging of ideas. They're going from the Warp Delta to the Intrepid to the NX class. You can see the steps of the evolution of the design, which is one of the things I do like about the 22nd century era Starfleet in Star Trek. You can have pretty much anything you want by the next generation era. Starfleet will have been through so many design phases of such vast resources. They want to build a ship that's shaped like a donut and flies backwards. They can do it. It doesn't matter. They're advanced enough. They're powerful enough. They want to build a ship that, has 12 warp nacelles. I mean, why would you? But you could. The 22nd century era is a little more limited. They've got the resources, the manpower, and they've only been around for about 100 years as a warp-faring civilization. It's logical why you can see these steps, and one of the things I like about it is how you see how well thought out and well planned out all these Starship designs are. As for the other upgrades that come from beta canon sources, I agree with it. I can see it. You think about it. We weren't far from the Earth-Romulan War at this time period. Starfleet isn't going to crank out ships like the NX class all the time because they're a big, complicated ship that take at least 2 years to build. Even under wartime situations, I bet that number is not going to be shaved off by much. So my guess is you're going to revert back to things like the Daedalus class that I've heard said you could build 4 of them for every one NX class before. Again, beta canon, but I like the numbers. And you can clearly see the Warp Delta is a very simple ship, so is the Intrepid class. These ships are very simple, and you can probably knock them out pretty fast. Probably 2 or 3 of them for every one NX class, or any other larger, more heavily armed starship that might be produced. They're a very good intermediate vessel with a good modular design, and they're pretty robust and sturdy, and I can really imagine Starfleet keeping them around. Now, it doesn't say how long these ships served for, but considering at the end of Enterprise they were already starting to phase out the NX class, it's reasonable to assume that by the time the Federation was being formed, Starfleet could build bigger, better, more powerful, and these ships would either be relegated to fleet auxiliary roles at best, or more likely be being decommissioned and replaced by far superior, more advanced starships that the Federation, by this point, was producing. Now, as I said, that's pretty much all we got on the ship, and I still feel ill and I want to go and cough into the ether somewhere, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to end with, if you liked this video, and I hope you did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think of starships in the 22nd century era. Not just human, but others. Vulcan ships, Andorian, Klingon, Romulan. What do you think? I know there's a lot of contention over the Klingon designs, a lot of which I feel myself. I don't think Klingons have been done right ever since the Next Generation DS9 era. But anyway. Moving on. Please check out my other channel, Nerd.World Films, and something. Hit the like button, whatever. Bye-bye.